Game Arenas. You don't need another Mario Galaxy review by Good Vibes Gaming. Now, unfortunately, this time, we will not be met with the dulcet tones of John. But I don't doubt that whoever's going to play in his stead will not be just as good for us. So without further ado, I'm interested to see what kind of conversations come up from this. So let's have a listen.
This is a surprisingly difficult video.
Steve Bowling? Shit. Next, he'll be telling you he plays with the bumpers up, am I right? Ha! Bet you never heard that one before, Mr. Bowling?
I'm sitting down to talk to you about Super Mario Galaxy 1 and Super Mario Galaxy 2, ostensibly for the Switch 2, but really just for the Switch ecosystem as a whole. And as I was doing this, I wrote an entire script, I assigned a score, I had a review ready to go, ready to record, and as I sat down to record it, I was plagued by one thought.
You then realized.
Who needs this?
No one really.
Who needs me to review Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2?
It's weird, isn't it? It's like, you know the games are good, you know what I mean? You just know, so what's the point? Yeah, you're right. You just know.
The answer, really, that I came to, and that you probably will by the end of this video, is nobody. Nobody needs me to tell them about Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. You have probably already heard every possible opinion, and certainly every possible facet of my own opinion through someone else over the years.
Yeah, they're just some of the best to ever do it, man.
I've heard myself, John, Brandon, Daniel, Derek, and Ash all talk about Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 at some point in the last 5 years here on GVG. And in the years prior to that, you probably heard the four of us from Game Explain talking about it there.
Game Explain. Hiss. Game Explain. Hiss. Boo. Hiss. Boo. Hiss. We hate Game Explain, don't we? Can't believe they'd hiss. I can't believe they'd mention it. Keep that place's name out of your mouth, okay? You deserve better than that, okay, Steve? Disgusting behavior from them.
About it on Kotaku or IGN or Nintendo Life or anywhere I've worked in this industry in the past. And if you haven't, you've definitely heard someone else doing the same thing. Because here's the thing, in the last 18 years...
I just want to say, I like the shirt. It's not even the Magikarp graphic. I just really like this color of blue. This color of blue looks really nice. Sorry, I continue.
Galaxy 1 came out. It has been dissected and reviewed and applauded by everybody in this industry at some point. Everyone has some kind of opinion on Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. And guess what? Those haven't changed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Years
See, the worst part is I would love to pretend to sit here and be different and be like, hey, Mario Galaxy isn't even... They're still good. Like, even I'm not going to lie, part of me when I replayed the game, like, I think 3 years ago, and I played Galaxy like 2 years ago, part of me was like, oh, imagine if I don't like it anymore. No, it's still good. The green stars are still ass, though. They're still ass, I'm sorry. I never liked them as a kid that much. I did like the rewards you get after the Grandmaster Galaxy. Collecting the green stars, I'm sorry, they're still kind of ass.
Made Galaxy 1 and 2 worse games or better games. They are the same games they were back then, and the Switch 2 versions are just better versions of those. So let's be clear here, because I do want to...
They're better now with the shorter menus and load times. Oh, that's good to hear, at least.
Talk about these games, and there is something I can add to the conversation, but it's not going to be a critical analysis or a review of these games. That would just be serving my ego as a game reviewer. Instead, I want to have a conversation with you guys about these games and their value proposition in 2025, because really that's the only thing that is left to talk about. We already know that Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are genre-defining classics. For me, they're the best Mario games ever made, and I am...
Fair. I mean, I think saying it's the best is fair. The 3D World plus Bowser's Fury-shaped behemoth in the corner of the room, forgetting someone?
Exactly the target audience for these re-releases. I bought Mario Galaxy on the Wii, I bought it on the Wii U, I bought it again on the Switch, and I've bought it again on the Switch too.
Fucking soy.
I'm the person they're targeting with this. So when Nintendo said $70 for two of your favorite games ever made, I opened my wallet and threw my card directly at the screen.
The backflips are crazy, little bro. I'll be real with you. The backflips are a little wild, you know. Supposed to keep down the hut. Listen, fair dues.
I bought the game.
Listen, if you were gonna pull the if you were gonna do a little dance for any video game, I suppose Galaxy is probably one of the better ones to do it for. But There are kids watching, Steve. There's kids watching.
Digitally, and I have a physical copy coming.
You did play. Oh, just Steve, come on. Steve, come on. Digital and physical? Oh, Steve. You can't let them get away with it, Steve. No.
Yeah. If there's a problem, I'm absolutely part of it. And I know several of us here at GVG are also part of that same problem.
Unbelievable.
We love Mario. And so many people do. So it's a simple calculus for some people. For some fans, it's just going to be as simple as, is this Mario? Is it the better version? Do I gain anything from having it on Switch 2? And the answer is just kind of objectively yes. You gain something. Whether it's worth your money is an entirely different conversation.
Definitely.
Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are upgraded versions of the original games in the minorest way possible. So Nintendo has obviously got them running in 4K at 60 FPS, and they've updated textures across the board for both games. Now they still look and feel dated. Obviously there are camera issues that probably wouldn't fly in a game today, which is why I wouldn't have given this a 10. I would have given it a 9, which is what I put in the thumbnail for you. That is the real score that I had planned on giving it.
Actually, I think, and I'm curious to see if you bring this up. If you're someone who thought the game was a 10 then, do you think the game is still a 10 now? And I would say, I would say with the passage of time, I don't think you can say, if you back then thought this game was a 10, I don't know if you could say this game's a 10 now. I just don't know if you think, like, even though they've held up very, very well, I don't know if I'd be comfortable saying they're 10 out of 10 still. Like 9.5s? I'd give this game a 9.5. I still think it's a 10 now. I'd give it a low 9. It goes down to a 9 instead of a 10. I think it's a solid 8. And Galaxy 1 is still a 10. I'd give it about 2. 2 is like 9. And a post-Odyssey world, no. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's like, I feel like so many other games, and even just Mario, not even the Mario games, other games have come out to refine the genre, either platformer or 3D platformer, where I'm not comfortable giving this. Like, I think at the time these games came out, they were the best of the genre. 100%. I think now, though, maybe a little less as good, you know? I give Galaxy a 9 after replaying. Yeah, I'd say 9. I'd say 9 is about fair. I would have given this a 10 in 2007. But now I'd probably give it like a 9.2, 3.
I'd say the difference of time has lowered them to a 9, where if I reviewed them in 2007, they would have been 10s.
Yeah, I agree.
If I reviewed them in 07 and I think 08 respectively, I would have given them perfect scores. But technology has marched forward just the tiniest amount. Realistically, when dealing with the Switch 1 and 2 versions of these, we're getting 2 stellar games for $70 in an era in which one good game or stellar game or okay game is 70 or maybe even 80 bucks.
Yeah, but they're re-releases though, Steve. No, Steve, they're re-releases. They're re-releases, Steve. You can't say they were worth it back in the day. You can't be charging 70 now. The industry.
So when you take it,
you can't do that.
The market itself, I view Galaxy 1 and 2 as straight up just a deal.
Okay, well, I'm saying absolutely not. No chance. See, for me, it's less of a don't settle for less, fight for more sort of thing. But for me, I think we get into an interesting conversation about value. It's like, the way I see it is I thoroughly believe in the gentleman's agreement of, if a game is older, surely you make it cheaper so that a new audience can try it at an affordable price. Do you know? Like, I just, it's a gentleman's agreement that every company store abides by except Nintendo. And I just like, I just can't fathom a world where that's gone. Do you know what I mean? I cannot fathom a world in that sort. Do you know? Like, even Nintendo used to believe in this shit back in the Wii U era. So, like, to me, it only feels like they're only getting away with it because they can. If we're being technical, I suppose, yeah, two $40 games instead of 80 or 70. But I'm just like, I don't know. I could never see that, to be honest. Especially, again, you're talking about a pair of games that are like 15 to 18 years old. That you can at least say that a good chunk of the people alive now have already played. So that, like, to entice them to replay it, surely you'd like make it a little cheaper. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's something about it just seems. I don't know if I could formulate like a good argument for it now, but like it just feels icky to me that Nintendo, of all companies, knowing that are the ones that are just saying no, we don't want to do this thing anymore. And then obviously Nintendo would look at me and say, you don't think these games are as valuable enough to be resold at like this price? I was like, well, no. I think if you're talking about the quality of the game, then sure. But like everyone else here is doing the gentleman's agreement we've been doing for like as long as I've been alive. Why can't you? It's like, well, we don't want to. We set the value for the games that we think are this valuable. It's like, I've already played this game before. Why would I buy it again? Okay, well, it's not for you then. It's like, well, I know it's not for me, but like, I want to be able to buy this game again. I just don't want to pay full price for a game I already own. Well, then don't buy it. And it's like, well, do you see what I mean? It's like, it just doesn't, I don't like it, okay? It's literally just that, I don't have an objective argument for this. I don't like it, okay? It doesn't feel good, okay? It's as simple as that. It's the principle of the matter, okay? I don't like it. It's as simple as that. I'm just sounding nostalgic. I don't get it! I'm Mario credit card. I swear to God, I'm going Linkara mode. What is so implausible about giving this game at a fair price? Where's so implausible? You tell me, Steve. For me in the UK right now, I think Argos had it for £52. Now, of course, that would be like what? If we split that in half, £26 per game. Now, right now, I can buy both of those games on their original hardware for £25. Do you know? So I'm just like, under what circumstance am I going to pay twice the price for this game? What, because the frame rates and resolutions are a bit better and I have it on them all? Am I paying £25 for the convenience of owning this on the latest hardware? That's essentially what Nintendo's trying to tell me. And I'm just like, firstly, maybe, but even then, I still don't just want to support this in principle. It's more of a principled thing for me. If I saw Galaxy OnePlus 2 at £40, I'm like, okay, I will spend £15 to have this at an upgraded frame rate at the convenience of the latest console. That is how much I'm willing to pay, personally. But I don't know if I'm willing to pay double the price for just the convenience of owning on the latest console. I'll find it at CEX for like 40 quid at some point, I'm pretty sure I will.
2 games that I know I'm going to love for the price of one AAA game. And I would argue that by modern AAA standards, Galaxy 1 and 2 still apply. These are games that are amazing. But I also understand why people are upset by these prices.
Yeah.
$35 a head if you're buying the games in the bundle, $40 each if you buy them separately, and no upgrade path if you own Galaxy 1 as part of 3D All-Stars, or if you want a standalone Galaxy 1.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Kind of the bundle that was out there.
And again, and that's the other thing that makes it a very sour taste as well. You already sold us Mario Galaxy in 3D All-Stars, and you're selling it again? Now, granted, obviously the digital version, they're not selling, you can just buy Galaxy 2, but again, if you wanted to buy it physical, which I think a good chunk of people do want to buy it physical, you have to buy Galaxy 1 again. Like, who's justifying this? Steve, there's no Steve. My Steve would never. That's all I'm saying. My Steve would never. Lower the price, hey, Steve?
Pricing-wise, history has been unkind to Mario fans. Nintendo is known for not really dropping prices on games very much. You can walk into a store 8 years after a game comes out and pay what you did on day one, bro. And
then let's just to show you guys, all right? Super Mario Odyssey. Bearing in mind, in UK, that retailed for £50 80 years ago, chat. Let's have a look, gamers. Let's see how much it costs. Yeah, just abysmal dog shit. Just kill me. Just fucking kill me, boy. Just what are we doing here, guys? What are we doing here, man? I'm sorry, like at least 40? 35. 35, come on. Fucking kill me, man.
But let's talk a bit about the price history specifically of Mario Galaxy. When Mario Galaxy 1 came out on the Wii, this was a $50 game. And this was kind of an important thing to remember because $50 was a little bit below the new emerging standard of $60 for a video game back then. PlayStation 3 and Xbox started charging $59.99 for their games because they were HD, and this was a SD or 480p game. So Nintendo didn't really have a leg to stand on in the pricing wars there. And the Wii was kind of the value proposition of its era. The console was cheaper, the games were cheaper, and so Mario Galaxy...
Wow, you remember that, Nintendo? Hey, you remember that shit? Crazy, huh?
And I think 2 at release were $50. Then the Wii U era happened, and we got the digital release of these on the eShop, or on the virtual console, and people were talking about how this was a $10 game. Galaxy 1 and 2 were each $10, and that is true, but there's a pretty big asterisk on that price because it was an introductory price. So when the game finally let go of that, it was revealed that they were 20 bucks. So Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2 reached $20, meaning that if you got them both on the Wii U eShop and you missed out on the sale, which I think very few people did, I know I bought my copies at $9, then you were paying $40 for the set.
And I think that's fair. If they did $40 again, I don't think no one would complain. Would anyone complain if they did these games at $40 for both of them? I wouldn't be fucking. I would have bought it. If it was $40 or £35, I would have bought Galaxy 1 Plus 2. Because if you're asking me, that's what I'm paying for the convenience of having it on the latest console, 10 extra pounds essentially. I'm fine with that. Yeah, for me that's better. No one would complain. It's just shit pisses me off, man.
3D All-Stars was 60 bucks and it came with 3 games. So you could make the argument, and I don't know how the economics work out, but you could make the argument that each of these are $20. Now, I do know that Galaxy was purchased separately, and I know someone's going to come at me in the comments for not knowing the price right off the top of my head, but this is an unscripted video. I just decided to sit down and yell at the camera for a little bit, so please
I'm doing the same thing, don't worry. Yeah, that's okay.
You could make the argument that Galaxy was $20 on the Switch 1 as well. So taking that $20 price, then you have
I don't think Galaxy was separate. I think it came with the bundle, right? But
extrapolate from there, right? We know that these games are 40 bucks each, and we know that if you buy them in a bundle, they'll give you a $5 discount on each game, effectively making them $35. So at the worst price, $20, because that's what I'm going to go with, or rather $20 plus $20, assuming that Nintendo still values the base version of these games at $20, then you can at least make the pricing make a little bit of sense here. Now, I want to be really clear that I'm not trying to tell you that this is worth your money.
No,
money means different things.
I didn't think you were, but I'm glad you clarified that nonetheless.
To different people. What might be an impulse buy to another person may make the difference between whether or not they're able to keep their lights on or pay their phone bill.
Yeah, of
or
course,
do
of
whatever.
course.
So I'm not trying to tell you how to spend your money.
No, you seem like a normal guy, Steve.
How I think about spending mine.
Of course.
And when I saw that these games were $40 a piece, what my mind put together is that Nintendo values Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2 at $20. And then the Switch 2 tax is another $20. Now, how does that make sense? Well, if we look at Nintendo's Switch 2 upgrade paths, you can kind of see that there's a tiered operation.
Oh, there's one set of upgrades that's like free, and then there's another set at $10, and another that's $20, which I suppose makes sense, but like I don't know, it still sucks though, doesn't it? It still sucks though, Steve. That's the thing.
That goes
Even then,
it's
that's a strange justification,
For
if you
instance,
ask me.
Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom got $10.
And it's also a Switch 1 game, isn't it? It's technically a Switch 1 game too.
Well, what did those do? They didn't touch textures, they didn't touch any art assets, but they did improve the base resolution of the game and the base frame rate. So basically, they took those two games, made them run at a higher frame rate in a higher resolution. It is basically the most basic type of upgrade package you can get, something that takes a game, gets it running on next-gen hardware, and gets it running in a better state.
But I think that begs the question. Let's say, for example, right now, they were to sell Galaxy 1 Plus 2 at, what's it, $40, right? But it's a port. If they sold us a port for $40, and you would pay the 20, 25 or whatever, or the 30 for an upgrade, right? Upgraded frame rates and resolution, right? I feel like even then that would be a bit harsh, but I feel like it'd still give people options, if that makes sense. It give you the option to, okay, you just want the basic one. You know, that'd still be like quite scummy as well, but like, I don't know. I don't know how I'd actually feel about that now I'm thinking about it. I don't know. That still ain't worth a whole Silk Song. Yeah, ain't worth a whole Silk Song, man.
Then you have your $20 upgrade packs, which are like Kirby and other games like that, Mario Party. And this is where I think some people are going to have the most issue, because traditionally a $20 upgrade patch includes DLC, like a change to the game, a pretty major one.
And this one doesn't have
Kirby,
any, right?
We got additional levels. With Mario Party, we got Jamboree TV. So charging $20 here is kind of interesting because it lands in this kind of middle ground. We're not simply putting the games.
I think it's talking about games like SV, for example. The game had a Switch 2 exclusive upgrade, but the game was sold at $60. and not 70. So the Galaxy model being 70 for both Switches is, yeah, it's a bit, even if we take the logic, it's still a bit like sus, isn't it? If you're asking me, the only reason I would care about higher resolutions is if I was going to stream it. Like, as a streamer, I'd obviously want to stream something at a higher resolution if I always have that option. But, like, even then, like, let's say I was in the mood right now. Guys, we're going to play Mario Galaxy. Yeah. I can see myself maybe wanting to buy a Galaxy One Plus 2 so we could, like, experience the game in the best fidelity, you know? Maybe. But even then, I'm just like, I'll just dust off the Wii U, man. I'll just put the Wii U in my room, man. I don't know, man. It has very little value proposition for me. I don't know.
But we're also not including anything substantially new. In
No,
the
we're
case
not.
of Galaxy 2, you do have
What, new
Rose's
storybook pages? Like, come on,
which
man.
is a net new addition.
Come
to the
on,
game,
bro.
Which required, going back and adding to the base of the original Galaxy 2. You're actually adding something brand new that wasn't there before in the Wii or Wii U digital releases. So you have something that's new. And I could see Nintendo saying, that's new content.
So what, like, so you're telling me, Steve, I'm paying like $20 for pronouns. Like, what are we doing here? I'm paying $20 for pronouns. Is that what you're telling me, Steve? That's how much you paid. You paid $20 for pronouns. Unreal, brother, unreal.
The same with Galaxy 1, you get not new content, but you do get new art assets. The textures are sharp and crisp and detailed in 4K in a way that the originals definitely weren't. So Nintendo did go through and...
Gotta pay a whole load more to get them legal. How much did Lubba pay, I wonder? Good joke.
Seemingly more than just upscaling, they actually provided new textural assets in certain locations for Galaxy 1. I don't think, personally, that rises to the same level of improvement as
exactly.
say, Jamboree TV. Or
I don't think it does neither.
Kirby, but it is something more than getting Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom running. And I mean, we can all have different opinions about whether that's worth $10 or $20 or $15. Some people would say that it's not worth anything and that it should be a free addition to the game when you're already charging a $20 base price, right?
Yeah, I would say so personally. I would say so. If you like, for me, and I think I said it, like at most it should have been 30 each. I think even 30 each is stretching it. It should have been $25 at most. I feel like, okay, because what's it? So what you're telling me is, at some point recently, Nintendo valued these games at $20, right? That's what Nintendo valued this on the Wii U at. So again, if we're using Nintendo's logic, just a port of the game on the Wii U is $20, right? Each game, 20, 40, right? I would say personally, if you're going to charge, but it's like, oh, but this isn't a port. It's like an upgrade, graphical enhancement, more stable frame rates, like no more mandatory motion controls, higher resolution. How much is it fair to charge? I would say maybe $5 more at most. And that's at most. So it'd be $25, like $50 at most. $70, like why am I paying the extra 20? Again, these games were $20 at one point. What justifies it going from 20 to 35 each? Do you know what I mean? In the bundle as well. Or like 40, even double the price realistically if we're talking. Do you know? I'd argue it should have been $20 collectively. The Wii has been a 2-decade-old system next year. We've gone so far beyond it that even charging mid-level is a bit much. I could see them maybe like I would, like, in principle I do agree with you, but I'm thinking I'm going by Nintendo's logic personally. That's what I'm trying to gauge at. If you're asking me personally, I would say $20 collectively, yeah, obviously fair. But like I think we're living in a fantasy land that doesn't exist anymore once we get to the hypothetical. What I'm talking about is Nintendo themselves valued this game at $20, right? So if you're asking me what makes it how like we bumped up the resolution, how much more should you feasibly charge? If it was up to me, I'd say 25. So it's 25, 50. Maybe make a deal where if you buy both of them, it's for $45. And the UK, that'd be like what, 35 pounds. You know what I mean, for both of them. You know, fair. I would say that's fair, considering what Nintendo themselves valued this game at not 1 generation ago or 2 generations ago at this point, I suppose. You know,
these are $40 base prices. Realistically, this isn't like a situation where you can take the game and then upgrade it, but doing some kind of hypothetical Nintendo math here, you could potentially say that they're valuing the base game at $20 and their additional work they've done to get it on Switch 2 bumps it up by another $20.
Nah, that's too much. Yes, yeah. I think he's come to the same conclusion as me, but same working out as we would come to different conclusions. Do you know what I mean? Like the Nintendo tax for me at most is $5. Realistically, like 20, doubling the price for it's like. There must be some development cost. Kane, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care how much it cost them in terms of dev time what I'm getting out of it is higher resolutions, and that is it. It's not Galaxy OnePlus 2 plus Lubber's missing fucking watch. Do you know what I mean? They'd be like, okay, maybe we're talking $70, maybe we're talking £55, maybe. But like, again, all you've done is like make it look a bit prettier and change the font to a new fuck-ass font. Like, you know what I mean? Am I alone in not thinking you're not alone in thinking that, no. 70 is about right for Nintendo. I'm saying that it shouldn't be, you know? Listen, Lubber's missing pronouns doesn't matter to me, okay? Fuck them pronouns. I want the game at £35, okay?
I don't think Nintendo would ever say anything like that. But I'm very curious about where people land on this, because $35 a game doesn't seem like a crazy amount to me for a game that is at the level of quality.
Yeah, of course you would say that, right? Fucking Steve, Mr. Nintendo Switch and me, but yeah, of course you're saying that, Steve. Okay, I'm being a bit mean there. I do like you, Steve. I think you're coming at it from a rational position, which I understand. But coming from a more, like, I would say a gamer that, so I'm eating some Parma Violets, if you're curious. I love Parma Violets. They're my weakness. If you're coming at it from me, because obviously, like, from you, like, maybe you're coming at this from a position of, I'm gonna say it, Steve. Maybe you're coming at this from a position of privilege. But I say that mainly because, like, obviously maybe you're a games journalist, so because you generally tend to get games free of charge, maybe you've like forgotten the value. Maybe. And again, I'm really not. I'm not trying to be like. I'm genuinely not trying to be like mean or disrespectful when I say this. But maybe it's because you come at this from a position of like you get games mostly for free because you're a journalist. I'm almost certain that's how it works. I don't know if you're that in the industry or whatever, or like I don't know if you do get games for free or something, or maybe because of like that nature of like you're more in tuned with like you have to buy these games to like do your job essentially. So maybe like the value is a bit more skewed to you, you know? Maybe, if that makes sense. But for me, like the average gamer, I'm coming out from a position of I've played these games before. I have easy access to these. Maybe again, I'm from the UK as well, where the used game market isn't as fucked. Like we have the greatest institution on planet Earth, CEX, where we can get relatively cheaper games. So obviously, and of course, you know, the gentleman's agreement of the industry of games like getting cheaper as like time goes on. When we factor all of these things in, and Nintendo being the only outliers. Again, if this was like an industry-wide thing and everyone was being a piece of shit about it, I would be like maybe a bit less gung-ho. But like literally Nintendo are the only ones that are insisting on, hey, when a game comes out, guess what? 8 years later, it's still going to be the base price. You know what I mean? No sales. They're the only company that insists upon this. And while maybe you could make the argument that if there's one company who could get away with this, it would be Nintendo because their quality is bar none. They have no comparison when it comes to their consistent bar of quality. In principle, as like a gamer that doesn't have an infinite amount of disposable income or time to play video games, I don't want to be spending as much as I don't want to spend too much money. It comes from a position of I don't want to spend too much money. And maybe it also comes from a position of not only do I own these games as well, but I also have easy access to other means to play video games too. So if I am going to play a game on a console, I am doing it for the convenience of owning on the latest console, not because I think the value of the game is a good value proposition. So maybe I'm coming out from a position of privilege because again, I have the games and I have easy means to access the games via other means if I want to. So maybe I'm coming out. Maybe I'm maybe I'm coming out from the position of privilege. But yeah, like I for me, it's just more. Is the value proposition there? Can I tell someone right now go buy it on the Switch 2 because that's the most conveniently accessible platform, or will I insist on someone to go back and play on the? And if you ask me right now, especially if you're in the UK, yeah, just go buy a Wii, man. You telling me you don't have a Wii in your closet? Like you definitely do. Do you know what I mean? And if so, CEX will sell in both games for like 25 quid. Go buy them, man. I've got them in my living room right now. You know? So, I just want to play games with modern controllers and HD res. I suppose if that, like, but then therein the question lies, is that worth paying double the price to you? Because, like, again, you're talking to someone who, as well, likes the convenience factor. You're talking to someone who's bought a game on Steam and bought a game on his phone because I like the convenience of having it on the go, right? I am the kind of person that will buy a game again for the convenience of the latest system. I am the kind of person that will do that. And even I'm looking at Galaxy OnePlus 2, and even I'm just going, I don't know, you know? I'm the kind of demographic they would like to target. Someone who likes the convenience of owning shit on the latest hardware. But like, even I don't care. I just don't. I'm sorry, I just don't care. Like, this game should not be $70, and it shouldn't be like 60 quid in the UK. But thankfully, obviously, because the UK is the greatest country on planet Earth, a lot of retailers mark it down from RRP, so which is why Argos is selling it for like £52. But even then, £52 is just a bit too much. So I don't know, man. I think we're just coming out from a different perspective, Steve. I still like the shirt though.
Super Mario Galaxy is. Super Mario for a game that is at the level of quality that Super Mario Galaxy is. Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 specifically, again, if you're buying them in the bundle. I would honestly probably even pay $40. And yeah, again, if there's a problem, I know I'm part of it.
Oh, Steve. Yeah, they got you by the bollocks, don't they, Steve? They got you by the bollocks, lad. God damn. God damn. Nintendo needs to stop fondling this guy, man. God damn. I can't. How did they do this to you, Steve? You used to be something, Steve. Now look at you. Man.
But I also know how fantastic these games are.
No, they are.
And I think a lot of you out there do as well.
No, I do. I agree.
So I guess the question comes down to
again. But Nintendo have tried to go. They're like, hey, no bull fondling this time, okay? Maybe port over Strikers, and then you can have a squeeze. All right.
Debate in the community is really about how much we all value our money. How much is $40 worth to somebody? What do you need to get out of it? Is it gameplay hours? Is it a certain level of quality? Games like Silksong, which Daniel recently did a video on, certainly moved the conversation in an interesting direction.
I'm glad. I'm so Listen, Team Cherry, you guys are absolutely generational. The fact that people are starting to use Silksongs as measurements for a game's quality, for a game's price, I love Team Cherry for that. Okay, I don't think I'll play Silksong anytime soon. If I do, generational. I'm telling you, generational.
Have a game that is as packed with content as Silksong is, that plays as well as it does and looks as good as it does, and only cost $20,
yep.
Right? Then you have kind of the opposite side of things where people have felt maybe a bit upset about Mario Kart World costing $80 or Donkey Kong Bonanza's DLC being $20,
yep.
when maybe they felt it wasn't fulfilling enough. For me, we know where I land. And I think you know where probably your favorite game critic or reviewer or just personality or podcaster or journalist, whatever. I think most people know what their favorite people's opinions are on Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. And if you're watching this video, I assume you have at least a passing interest in these games. So if you want my recommendation, if you've never played these, get them. And if they're worth...
I'll let him finish before I say my recommendation.
$40 or $35 each to you, then you absolutely should pick these up. They're worth...
I agree. If, for example, if you're someone in the chat, you're one of the rare people who actually didn't play 1+2 on the Wii, yeah, buy them, 100%. As soon as if they are at the price that you're happy with, yeah, buy them. That's like a no-brainer. You're joking me? Like if you can find them for a decent deal, that's worth your price. If the 70 is something you can afford, if you have the disposable income for that, yeah, fucking buy them. Buy them like today, dude. But like if you want to wait for like maybe like to find it secondhand somewhere, yeah, buy them 100%.
Worth your time. They're genre-defining platformers, all that stuff every journalist has ever said in praise of these games is as true today as it was in the early 2000s. It's just an awesome set of games. If there was a Criterion collection for games, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 would be in them. And if you were doing a stack ranking of all of the Mario games, 3D, 2D, or otherwise, the Galaxy games would be near the top. So it's not a question of the quality of these games. No, definitely not. It's a question of the value.
Yeah.
And value is going to vary person to person. But I want to know from you, how do you decide what makes a game worth the money? How do you decide what you feel the appropriate price should be for a game? Because for me, it just comes down to how much I love it. And
I don't disagree. Again, I 100% disagree. It comes down to how much I think that can 100% be a factor. But again, for me, it's the, as I said before, I'll just repeat myself quickly again. It's the gentleman's agreement. Like, them re-releasing this at such a high price kind of goes against the gentleman's agreement that everyone in the industry goes against. So, in principle, I just can't agree with that higher benchmark for a game that is 15 and 18 years old. If we're talking about the value that you'll get from the game itself, I would say if you want to make the argument that it's worth the $70, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you. Definitely. Like, you get, what, a combined total of 362 stars, 63, if we're counting something like that, 360 plus stars. Yeah, like, phenomenal, obviously. But for me, it's the gentleman's agreement of these games came out years ago. They should not be selling this at the same price that games are now. I just don't think it should be. It definitely should not be, especially with games that were released on a console that a lot of people already own, I would say. And considering also that Nintendo themselves valued this game at $20. So if you're telling me that you're doubling the price just to make the graphics look a little better, I don't know. I don't see that as a value proposition that's worth it for me. And you're talking to someone who also likes buying games again if I can have it on more convenient access. I'm the exact kind of person that will do that. I own Balatro on Steam, the Switch, and my phone. I literally bought Balatro 3 times. And I'm looking at you in the eye and saying, I'm not buying Mario Galaxy twice. I'm not doing that. I already own the games. If I can find Galaxy 1 Plus 2 at CEX for £35, I will buy it for £35. But I am not spending more than that for me. I'm okay, thank you. I'm okay.
And how much I love it dictates how much I'm willing to spend on it. There are definitely other valid reasons to make purchasing decisions, and I'm certainly not a financial advisor. I wouldn't recommend spending your money on half the things that I do. So I want to hear from you. How do you end up spending your money on games? And did you pick up Galaxy 1 and 2? And if so, are you enjoying them? Was it worth it? And if you didn't, I especially want to hear from you. Why didn't you? If you love it, if you love
Where's Odyssey Central? If he's lurking, now's your chance, brother. You got the smoke signal.
These games and you didn't buy them, why not? What made it not worth it for you? I think that this is a really fun and interesting exercise. And
I think it's an interesting conversation too.
We can talk about it on the Weekend Nintendo, which has come back if you're unaware.
Oh my god, it's back!
Until next time,
I didn't know it was gone.
If you're enjoying Galaxy 1 and 2, have fun with it. And if you're not, hit me up. Let me know. Until next time. Bye.
Oh, Steve, honestly, you seem like an absolute gentleman. It's just a shame that there's a ball grabbing your balls constantly, and it's telling you must like Galaxy 1 Plus 2. He's gone, gamers. We lost a good one. What a shame. What a shame. I feel like me and you could have been best friends, but you decided to spend your money on something I wouldn't. Therefore, we can't be friends. No, but in all seriousness, though, again, I 100% understand it. If Mario Galaxy just... Well, isn't it crazy, gamers? That you can be someone who just shamelessly likes the game, but you could be kind of self-aware? Do you know what I mean? Because, like, yeah, is it a bit of a... I feel like if certain other gamers would have said what he said, I would have sneered at them. But, like, Steve is just being earnest. Like, he's just like, hey, listen, man, I bought these games once, twice, 3 times. I just love them, man. I'm just like, hey, do you know what? I can't fake the earnestness. Do you know what I mean? If you're being as earnest as you are, fair dues, man. It's a little crazy. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking at you funny. I'm definitely looking at you a little funny, Steve. But all in all, I'd go for a drink with Steve. He seems like a normal guy. He's just someone who loves this game the same way I love, like, Metroid Dread, for example. But yeah, overall, I think I've said my opinion numerous times. I think the value proposition with the gentleman's agreement is not quite there. And as soon as these games go on a decent sale, I'd say £35 instead of the 53 I can currently buy them for. I would say I would buy it just for the sake of owning it on a convenient hardware. Definitely. But what do the comments have to say? Let's have a look and see what they've got cooking for us. A fun fact, back in 2007, the Italian version of the official Nintendo magazine awarded an 11 out of 10 to the first Mario Galaxy. Their tongue-in-cheek logic was they already score Sunshine at 10, meaning that they have to go higher with the sequel. Which they obviously considered even better. The review even joked about it, said something along the lines of, you always complain that we give away too many 10s to Nintendo games, so give it an 11 instead. Which is not fair. It's one of those things. It's one of those things I want more of. Port reviews with port reviews that review whether the port is good, not whether the game is good. How's the frame rate, resolution, texture? Wii remote controls translate well? Any blunders and issues? Yeah, fair. More Steve. Boundary break. Classic. Remember, the price is the same whether you buy it for the Switch 1 or 2. Real. Is the free camera really wanted? Most of the levels are gravity-based mini planetoids, and even the big levels, the camera's good enough. Yeah, I would say the free camera isn't necessary, if you make sense. You know? I appreciate the self-awareness. Yeah, I appreciate it too. It made this, Wait, did we just see that guy? I don't know. I was having trouble articulating my perspective on prices. I think everyone would rather spend less money than more money. Obviously, yeah, true. But I think it's led some people feeling a sense of judgment towards others you're personally willing to spend. I don't think the sort of judgment is really productive because, as you said, the value of something is going to vary wildly depending on the person. Especially if we're talking about video games, which are not essential to life in the slightest. Another way to frame this would be judging someone for buying a game you weren't personally excited for on day one. Like for me, that might be wise to wait on a sale, but someone more invested in their hands on it would be fine to spend the extra money to access it sooner. Yeah, sure. That's why I low-key can't say definitively that no game should cost more than a certain price. If the game released at 80 and I choose to buy at the price, I don't know. I almost feel like at that point I can only blame myself whether I regret my purchase or not. It's not like the publisher was being deceitful. I knew fully well that was going to cost me this much. Honestly, it's going to sound crazy, but there's cases where something being expensive is actually saving me money because I'm not just going to buy it on impulse, even though I don't personally value it. Interesting. This comment is randomly, so I don't know how to TLDR it. I guess my point is that people are upset that they aren't going to buy as many things as they used to, which is understandable frustration, but times are tough and we have to adjust our habits as a result. Was that my point? I don't know. Now you understand why I started being. Yeah, exactly. I think it's a reasonable take, definitely. I think the conversation around the value of a video game is actually a lot more nuanced than I thought it'd be, if I'm being honest. And yeah, I think you said like people would rather spend less money than more money, which is why when someone in the chat said these games as a bundle should have been $20, it's like, well, yeah, obviously the game should be free. Do you know what I mean? Like, but let's have a more realistic conversation about this. You know what I mean? And yeah, like don't get me wrong. Like if we're talking like the value of the quality you have, I could feasibly see someone saying, yes, these are $70 games. But I think with the environment that we've crafted around video games for like as long as I've been alive, essentially, I cannot justify $70 personally. Like on principle, I can't do that. Do you know what I mean? I just can't do it. I just really couldn't do it. If the Metroid Prime Remaster was $70 or like £65, I don't think I would have bought it. Like even then, I just feel like that's way too much money. I'm sorry. Like on principle, I just can't. Once something gets to a certain base level of price, I'm just like I feel like you're just charging this much because you feel like you can get away with it. That's what it feels like to me. And you're talking to someone who lives in the UK, and as a result, I've seen prices like creep up with inflation. Again, like when I was a kid, games were £30. Right now, full price games are like £60, but generally retailers tend to make it cheaper. You know what I mean? They tend to be £60, £65, but they tend to make it cheaper now, obviously, because retailers in the UK are just great like that. But yeah, overall, it just depends. Sometimes it's just a principled thing for me. It really is. Interesting comment nonetheless. Awesome video, Stephen. I like how you broke this down. Love the title too. I bought the 3D All-Stars collection. Unbelievable. And I already played Super Mario 64. Still not played Sunshine yet. It was my first time playing Galaxy. I loved Galaxy. It was so much. But hearing they'll finally bring a Galaxy 2, but not as a double pack at 70. I love Galaxy, but like many others who play the game, have a never-ending backlog. So would I pay 70 for Galaxy 2? I couldn't justify that much. As much as I like to buy physical. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Bit of a shame. Mario Kart was 120 Australian dollars. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, your currency's cooked, man. Your currency's cooked. I buy a new game when I finish my current game. If I want to play it, I buy it. But I only play one game at a time, make an effort to finish games. This keeps my gaming budget in check, I think. Yeah, fair. It's better than having the back. Honestly, I'd rather take more Seth M. Larsons than all of the, guys, my backlog! Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. New Sir Musty video type. Do you know what's I'm stealing off the Angry Video Game Nerd. Do you know what's bullshit, chat? Backlog Bartholomews, that's what it is. All of you guys, you just be buying all these games without having any intention of buying them. Hey, play them, nerd. What do you mean? What's going on, huh? Ooh, what's going on? What's going on, gamer? Afraid you might like something? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. First world problems in a nutshell right there. Disgusting. I'm for a phase of getting a backlog, but now I have it in check now. Just play what you want to play. Like, I have so many games I've bought on a Steam sale just because I found it for cheap. If I get around to it, I get around to it. Like, I'm glad I just have it now. I don't really think of it as a backlog. It's just, I'll play a game when I play a game, man. Oh, man. I think it comes down to your gaming habits as well. Maybe you're more likely to replay Galaxy 1 Plus 2, which can make it more value. Yeah, true. I feel like if I maybe didn't play Galaxy 1 Plus 2, or 1 and 2, like 2 to 3 years ago, maybe I would have thought it was a good value proposition, maybe. Oh my god, Luigi! This Luigi guy, he's back here again! For me, when it comes to the price of the game, mainly comes to how long the game is, how enjoyable the game is, and how long the game's been out. If the game is decently beefy and have an absolute blast start to finish, I don't mind really paying $60, $70 for it. And if it isn't the longest thing in the world, how replayable is it to me? And if age is another one, because I feel like it's fair for older games to cost less. Yeah, true. And the Galaxy View Masters, I think if we're going to by just the first two facts, I feel like $40 isn't the worst thing in the world. But both of these games are also 15 plus years old and were put on a price of 20 on the Wii U. And I don't see enough to double the price. Maybe the price was 25. I literally said, oh my god, I said the same thing. Oh my god, I said the same thing. Classic. I'm unfollowing on Twitter for that, for stealing my take. Yeah, again, 2 games for the price of 1, but don't nostalgia blind you to Nintendo's greed. These games released in 2 decades ago and they're objectively lazy ports. Sure. Listen, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Listen, Steve, I fucking hate Steve. I hate GVG Steve. He was so earnest about his, like, fucking shilling. It made me wince at this guy's comment. Do you know what I mean? This is the guy I should be agreeing with. But Steve was just like, oh, man, I just love Galaxy. I'm just like, yeah, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck this guy. How about that? Fuck you, Cinder Popper. You leave my guy, you leave Steve alone. You leave him alone, okay? You leave Steve alone. Either way, where's my British downvote? Okay, I like Steve now. I like Steve now as well. For me, it's as simple as, do I want the game? Yes, then I'll pay the price. I'll pay the price. But the question will be asked depending on the game. I'm waiting for either a sale or get as a gift on the holidays or birthdays. Like Donkey Kong Bonanza, I was guaranteed to get day one. It was $70 was entirely fair in my eyes. Galaxy 1 Plus 2 is I'm interested in getting, but it's a major case of wait for a time when there's nothing else I already want. Since I do really love Galaxy 1, if it was the first game ever I actually completed, oh my god, Zoomer, fucking Zoomer. Galaxy 2 is great, but I didn't like it quite as much based. But I can't wait to get into the more interesting stuff like Sonic Racing. Yes. You could replay it. I've heard that game is good. Is it actually good, chat? Even Bubsy 4D. Yeah, not fair. Good stuff for Wheatmaster. Classic Wheatmaster. I think we'll leave it there. I think we'll leave it there, gamers. Closing thoughts, Steve. Listen, you like what you like, and I respect it. But I think it's fair to say that we can come to a polite agreement and agree to disagree, really. I think that's all it is. But I feel like this approach to a review was better, I would say. I think it made more sense than simply Galaxy 2 or Mario Galaxy still at 9 out of 10. Do you know what I mean? I think this made for a much more interesting conversation. And you seem you seem very wholesome, Chungus. And I'm glad you paid this game 3 times, little bro. I'm glad you paid for this game 3 times. You would never catch me doing that, chat. I'm better than used to. I like you, Steve. Okay, best of luck to you now. Thank you, Steve.